Related to safety of our children, let's talk about fentanyl. In 2019, the legislature passed and the governor signed a bill to decriminalize fentanyl by changing possession of 4 grams or less from a felony to a misdemeanor. In 2020, 540 people died from an overdose in Colorado. Last year, more than 900 Coloradans died from an overdose, and according to state health department data, including 4 children under the age of 1 and 35 people between the ages of 10 and 18. Reacting, the legislature addressed this in 2022, but still left possession of fentanyl of 1 gram and under, a misdemeanor. Mickey, if you'll come up. A determined Jeffco Kids First mom lost her 16-year-old daughter, Hannah, during the pandemic to fentanyl poisoning. And she's here to honor her daughter and ask our next question.
Hi, everybody. December 7th, 2021, I lost Hannah when she took what she thought to be a Xanax she had received the prior night. My daughter, she was just an amazing kid. She would never let a child sit alone at school. She would always bring him over to whatever group that she would be hanging around with at the time. Sorry. Hannah's teachers loved her. She would always help out other kids that may have been struggling. I mean, she would just jump up right away. Even though her teachers, when I go to conferences, they'd be like, she talks a little too much. Her laughter and tenacity is unforgettable. Heidi, what would you like to see changed to significantly reduce the number of fentanyl-related deaths, which are poisonings to our children, especially among the young?
Thanks, Mickey. So there are some tactical things we can do to solve this. Number 1, we can make possession of any amount of fentanyl a felony, and you should go to jail for a very, very long time. And they're going to say, what if they're dealing with addiction? What if they didn't, intentionally mean to hurt anybody? Then they go to jail and they get the help they need, and eventually they can prove that they deserve another chance, but it's not vice versa. Number 2, we need to cancel our status as a sanctuary state. Polis agreed he would never do that in the debates with Walker, and he did it very quickly after he became governor. And here's what that means on the ground. It means that ICE agents and law enforcement cannot coordinate. They watch fentanyl loads drive right by. There's nothing they can do. And then they put somebody in jail and they're out within hours. This catch and release mentality that our governor and our leadership has. It's horrible. That's why we have the 4th highest recidivism, sorry guys, emotional rate in the country. That means repeat offenders. That means people who've offended, broken the law, are doing it over and over and over again. It also means educating our kids on the dangers of fentanyl. 1 pill can kill. The kids don't know this. They don't know. They're kids. They're trying an Adderall. They're trying a Xanax. I mean, we were all young at one point. You experiment. That's what you do as a kid. Our kids can't afford to experiment anymore. They cannot afford to experiment anymore, but we have to teach them that. No one is talking about it in the media or in our leadership. And then finally, we've got to give law enforcement the tools and resources they need to do their job. And this nonsense that my income tax law is going to defund law enforcement, don't you dare believe that baloney. There is nothing more important than funding our law enforcement right now and getting our streets clean and giving our kids a chance to be a kid and not have to worry about dying. Fentanyl is destroying our communities, and I had somebody comment on a social media thread, you're talking about fentanyl too much. People just aren't that interested. I'm like, well, too bad. I don't care. Like, I am going to speak for all the parents who've lost their kids, whose kids are frightened to go to school, who may not have a chance because someone doesn't want to have a spine to protect our schools, or someone doesn't want to have a spine to stand up and say fentanyl is wrong and we're going to make it a felony and we're going to prosecute the crap out of anyone who does anything with it. That's how we're going to solve the problem. Thank you.
So I had the opportunity to talk to an ICE agent, and what he told me was that no one's smuggling people anymore. So all they're doing now is smuggling drugs. So the I-25 corridor and the I-70 corridor has become an open market for drugs. So every one shipment they catch, if they catch 50,000 pills, that's 150,000 pills they don't catch, right? So my question is this: how many people have to die? Tell me, Governor Polis, how many people have to die? Is it 1,000? Is it 2,000? Is it 10,000? What's the number of people have to die in order for us to say, okay, enough is enough? You give me that number, and then when we reach that number, then maybe we'll do something. But to remain silent on something that's killing so many of our citizens, if someone told you that the number of people killed every year in this country from fentanyl poisoning is twice that of what died in Vietnam, you would be up in arms. So where's the protest? Where's the outrage? The news just skipped right over the number like it's nothing. These are real people that are being affected. And before you say it's just drug addicts, no, it's not. These are kids. These are babies who are dying from this. So I'll just ask the governor, what's the number? Give us a number of people that have to die before it's important enough for us to do something about it. Because saying nothing and doing nothing is not the answer. We need change. And this is why Heidi Hall and I are running. We need change because no one's going to fight for you. We're going to fight for you.